Now that we know how the membership operator works, let's see what uses for it could we have. One of the most frequently used situation is when we want to do a string traversal. What is a string traversal? A string traversal implies that we will go through every element of the string. Basically, we want to visit every character in the string. Well, why would we want to do that? Well, the example we will use will print every character of the string individually, but maybe we want to find out how many vowels are in a string. Well, the way to do it is to actually go see every character in the string, check if it's a vowel, and then count. Oh, this is how many vowels I have. One more, and one more, and one more. But let's just do an example where we want to print the string. So we want to print the string, and we want to print every character in the string as we visit it. You know, later, as we said, we can add other things we want to do with the character, but this time let's just say we want to print the string. So let's say we have a string, and let's call it hello world, and our intention is to print H, then print E, then print L, then print L, then print O. Well, this is a very good use for the in membership. Basically, we want to print every character in the string. We want to print A in apple, P in apple, P in apple, L in apple, E in apple. So what we do is just use a for loop, and then we say for a character in new string, which basically means for every character in the string, print that character. So remember how in the for loop it was for variable, for value in container? Well, our container, our string is a container. It contains multiple characters in a certain order. So the loop variable here, a_char, will take the value of H, then the value of E, then the value of L, until the string ends and there is no new character to be, and then the for loop ends. Let's try to print this. There we go. Hello world. For a_char in new string, print this. You can even use the literal exactly here, and instead of new string, just put hello world. This is the very basically shortcut, the quickest version of printing and traversing a string. Right? HELLO space WORLD exclamation point. Now we can do the same thing using a for loop, but instead of using the in operator, we can use we can more specifically say we want to visit character with index 0, character with index 1, character with index 2, and so on. So that is basically the fact that changes in the loop, the index of the character. So we want to say for, and then we want to have an index value that is in a range, and the range starts at 0 because the first character has the index 0, but then we'll see exactly where it ends and what do we put here in the range. And then we want to print new string at the index IDX, using the value that IDX will have every time through the loop. So here's again our variable new string. The question is, where does it stop? So hello string, hello world, has 12 characters. Their indices are from 0 to 11. So we would want here in parentheses to put 12, right? And this should probably work. Let's try it just like that. There it is, it works. But we don't like using literals. What exactly does 12 represent? So we said the string has 12 characters. So 12 is the length of the string. So we can simply say string length equals to len of new string, where len is a function that returns the number of characters in the string, and then use this parameter, as an input to the range function, and then now we can write something else in here, can change the string, and then the rest of the code will still work. So now we just have hello. The third way is very similar with the second one, except that this time we can use a while loop instead of a for loop. But basically it's the same iteration by index, where the index starts at 0 and ends at the string length -1. So we still have the same string and string length, but we're going to use a while loop. So we're going to say while the index is less than the string length, print this. Okay, notice that we have to have a value for idx to start with, so we're just going to do this here. We're going to start it at 0. The value for the first character is 0, and then also in the while loop we need to increment idx and make it bigger by 1 every time, so that it starts at 0 but then becomes 1, 2, and so on. Let's try this. There it is, we got world and the exclamation point. So 3 ways of traversing a string: using a for loop and the in membership, using a for loop but iterating by index, where the index goes between 0 and string length, basically -1, and then the same thing but with a while loop, where we have to manually basically increment the value of the index every time through the while loop.